How's it going, guys? It's Jayton back again today on the Thermo Diet podcast, and I have today with me the Mr. Zach Siegel.
What's going on?
So today we want to talk a little bit about Zach's story, how he came to UMZU and some of his experience on the UMZU team, and maybe work our way into a little bit of other stuff that he does.
Yeah, cool.
So what's your story, Zach? From the very beginning.
Where do you want me to start?
Let's start with the very first memory that you can remember.
Well, no, I don't really remember that.
I'm just tell us about your story and how you came across the brand and how you got involved.
Sure. So it really started when I was in college. Freshman, sophomore year of college, everybody experiences like kind of on your own for the first time. And, like at home, your parents cook for you, this and that. But when you're actually on your own and you have like food at your disposal with cafeterias, like all you can eat things. And I don't think like growing up, like health class, like does a really good job of like telling you calories and all these macronutrients and micronutrients. Like they don't really explain it. Like I feel like in high school and stuff in health class, it's more about like sexual health and stuff like that.
And
but
scaring you.
Yeah, like using these scare tactics, but really like with something as simple as food and what you put in your body isn't really described to you at all. Mm-hmm. So I just wasn't really aware of like, I don't think I had any information or knowledge even on like calories or like, you just look on the back of a thing, it says, recommended on a 2,000 calorie diet or whatever. I don't know, like that didn't even mean anything to me. So, and just being a kid in high school and whatever, being active and playing sports and like, you just burn that stuff off. Mm-hmm. But you get to college, you get those food halls, and then that's when I really like I probably went into college around like 190 to 200 pounds, but like dude, after I probably gained the freshman 20 or whatever, but after my sophomore year I ballooned all the way up to 250 pounds. And also like at the time I had a girlfriend, and I just like went out to eat and just like ate like shit and just like got super lax on like health and didn't work out and just got really into, my career path on like, graphic design and photography and videography and, everything that goes into that. So I wasn't really paying attention to my body, and I was just like eating food out of just like, for no reason really, just out of boredom. Mm-hmm. And then that relationship ended, and then I one day I think I just looked up and looked in the mirror and just like took a real hard look at myself, and I was like, this is not who I want to be. Mm-hmm. So at that point, it's what's the first thing you do? You hop on Google and, look up like how to get in shape, or, and then you come across bodybuilding.com or whatever. And all these like all these like 7-day splits and stuff. And like, it was I went on for like a year or so, I went on a few like up and down things where, you'd be consistent for a month or so, and then you fall off, and then it's just like you're back to where you started kind of thing, just spinning your tires and not really seeing any results personally. So, I just didn't know what to do, and I, kind of gave up again. And I lost some weight, kept it off. I just ate less, but I didn't, I did the whole chicken, broccoli, and rice thing, ate out of Tupperware.
So you hated yourself for a little while.
Yeah, it was not fun, but like I, would lose weight, but then obviously it's like this food is bland as shit and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. And I would, go on the weekend and then, drink and eat pizza and Taco Bell and just bullshit, and not really understanding like using food as like energy or like, nutrients for yourself. Mm-hmm. That's until like one day, I don't know what happened. I just came across like a podcast with Chris on it, or his testosterone IO stuff. And then so like nogym.net and like all his early stuff. And then he was on the podcast with, Greg with the Road to Rip stuff. And that's when I really got into it and started kind of combining like Greg's like 3 days a week. Cause when he would talk about that, I'm like, whoa, like this guy is basically telling me to work out less, like 3 days a week when I was working out 7, I get better results, like too good to be true kind of thing. And I was like, I'll try it because I don't like going to the gym every day, and it sounds more interesting to me. And then pairing that with like Chris's, testosterone boosting techniques and like these different foods, and like using food as like nutrients for your body and like correcting micronutrient deficiencies. And that all made sense to me. Like a light bulb just like, it just clicked, right? I'm like, this actually makes a lot of sense. And I don't know why a lot of people make it so freaking complicated to do all these other things, or like in the gym superset, or like you got to go on this diet to lose all these things, but when really it's like a root cause. So kind of doing that, and then using some of Chris's like supplements. I think it was even Anabolic Men, right? And then they had the Anabolic Men marketplace, where I was just buying, like magnesium and all these different supplements before they were formulated into like Testro X and stuff, like all these single ingredients. And I felt like a scientist, like, all right, I need to take this, this, and this at these times. And then I really got super into that. And I think it became a lot more easy for myself to like stick to these things because it was simple and it was effective, and I didn't have to do too much thinking. It was just Chris kind of like laid out the roadmap for you there. And as time went, like over the next like year or so, like I went from like 250 down to like 180 pounds, and like lifting 3 days a week. Like I got a lot stronger at the same time while I was losing a lot of weight. But I think just following that information from, even Master Your Tea to all the information that Chris provides is like, it really changed my life and made a huge impact like on where I am today and how I think about food and my, like the relationship to food, how I, train at the gym. Cause then when I really got in the best shape, I was doing Thor, like 3 to 4 times a week. And I was taking like Testro, I was taking like Sensolin and like Redwood for, like a pump, like for the gym. And it was, I think the blood flow and everything was really helping deliver the nutrients and the key areas in your body. So I think that made a huge difference, in my life. And I'm super grateful to be here and be able to like, express like not only like has like Chris's information like changed the way that, I go about my day-to-day life, but then also I'm able to express like my creativity and, what I do as like, like a job here as well. And then, to, make labels for supplements and, help people at the end of the day. It's really fun job, and it really makes me think, like I have like a cause, I'm helping people.
Definitely. So how'd you go from there to transition to going to Florida and kind of coming into contact with the company? Oh yeah.
So how I got started with the company. So I graduated college and I was still kind of living. I'm from Ohio. I went to school at Bowling Green State University. I studied visual communication technology. I graduated. I had a job at a wholesale beer distributor. So like I would just make posters for like bars and like work with their sales reps to, basically they would come to me and be like, hey, we need this poster for this place promoting this beer. And then I would make like a poster. It was just kind of like a job out of college, and I was still kind of living in school and still was like kind of a student, and I was still working at the university and helping other like students there like perform their craft and just like an assistant or whatever. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I was making money, whatever, but I really like was on Anabolic Men every day. Like any spare second I had, I was like on there researching and was like, man. And I was like watching Chris's videos on YouTube and I'm like, fuck, like I really want to do this. Like if I had an opportunity, like this is something that I would love to do. It's just like I have a huge passion for this and would love to like film and record and edit videos. And then, you know, I was on their newsletter and then I got hit with an email that was like they wanted a video editor and, you know, I had nothing to lose. And I took a shot and I emailed in and was like, yo, this is what I do. Here's my resume. Here's my portfolio. Chris emailed me back, gave me like 4 or 5 videos. I edited those and then he was like, yo, I want to hop on the phone. And then I talked to Nate and Chris and they're like, do you want to work full time for us? And I was like, absolutely. They're like, are you willing to move to Florida? And I was like, yep, pick the date. I'll be there. And so I think I started what? I think it was October 2016. And then I moved down January 1st of 2017 to Florida. And the rest is really history, but I'm just like, I would just recommend like anybody that if you really have a goal or want to do something, it's like just put it out there. And I don't know, it's like something about like the meditation stuff too. If like you put that out, if you put that energy out there, that, you know, anything's really possible if you just put yourself, you know, in a position to do that, or just, you know, give yourself a shot, right?
Yeah, you have to create it.
Yeah. And I think that just like putting that out there and then just, you know, working hard, even though I might not be the best graphic designer at that time, or, you know, I might not be the most skilled, but I know that like hard work and dedication and, you know, the skills and ability and experience will all fall within that if you just have those core values of, you know, you'll do anything, really, like if you just have the dedication, I think. So after that, you know, I took the shot, and a lot of people, like at the time the company was really small, and I don't think anybody in my family really knew what it was or what it was about. But I know, like, with all the research that I did and, you know, Chris's information and, you know, how it changed my life, I believed in it so much that I didn't care what anybody else told me. They're like, oh, you're going to go work for a startup, like, that you won't have a job in a year, blah, blah, blah. Like, people, like, I'm from a really small town too. So a lot of people, like, don't want to see you succeed, I feel like, and kind of hold you back. And that's another thing is, like, I think the people you surround yourself with or your environment that you're in can hold you back. If I think you guys talked about that on this podcast, where, you know, some people don't want to see you succeed or win when, like, I just don't understand it. So I didn't care what anybody said. And I'm like, I'm going to do this anyways because I don't have anything to lose. I'm a kid. If I don't have a job or whatever, the worst comes to worst, like, whatever, I'll move back home. I don't care. Yeah. So I gave it a shot, and it's panned out tremendously. And, you know, I've been here for a little over 3 years now. And I think, like, 3 years of this experience compared to, you know, working, you know, a corporate job I don't think it compares. Like, I feel like I've grown 10 years in 2, you know, kind of thing, where I've worked with so many talented people here, like, you know, yourself, Chris, and the whole creative team, with working with Brenton and Matt. You know, I think we're a really, like, honestly, I think we're an unstoppable force that can really do anything we put our minds to, which is really cool. And I don't have to, you know, go through the red tape and, you know, play politics at other places where, you know, if I would have took the corporate ladder in a creative position, like, I feel, you know, like you can't you can't really express yourself the way, or like really get motivated, but like working with like everybody here in such a tight knit like family like culture here, we're just able to like, we come up with an idea, we're able to put it out tomorrow. And
Definitely.
it's super fulfilling. Like I love it, and I have a purpose, you know. So it's been a lot of fun. You know, I've done a lot of projects, working on the podcast, working with labels, to Facebook ads, advertising, and just learned a lot about marketing, website stuff, and like I don't think I could have got this experience anywhere else. And pairing that with my passion for health and helping others, and fitness and stuff, because I really do value what I do here, because it's changed my life, and I know that I could help somebody else through design. So
what's kind of some of the ideas that you take? For instance, we have this new clothing line, like some of these pretty sexy socks right here. That's something you can check out on, is it umzu.com/gifts?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit behind your ideas for those and some of the labels that you've created.
Yeah. So, when I first started here, it was Truth Nutra. So it was like the UMZU stuff now. I think we're really hitting our stride, with Francis and the UMZU, and just like having fun with it, really. And just coming up with cool stuff that, honestly, it was just like Chris came to me with an idea for coming up with clothing. It's like, I want to make stuff that we want to wear, like, and it doesn't have to like really represent like a supplement company type deal. Like, let's just make cool stuff and let's put it out there, and then if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, like, I still want to wear it.
Definitely.
So that's the whole thing, is just making stuff. I think that comes back to the the products themselves too. Is like, we make formulas that we want to take because other people have these issues, and they're like, a lot of people, it helps solve a lot of things. And like, it goes hand in hand with the clothes too. Like, I don't want to make something that I don't want to wear, or like, I don't want to make a graphic that I don't think is going to do well on Facebook or something, or like even with the thermo stuff, like, let's make something that people are attracted to, but then like, and like really are proud to like represent. Not just like, I don't want to just like put something on it and just feel like it's advertising. I want people to like stand up for what they believe in, and I think that's exactly what we do with our products and the formulas that you create and Chris puts together, and what we promote. And I think I'm super proud of everything we do, because at the end of the day, we're not just trying to like make money, we're trying to change people's lives.
Exactly. Yeah. So some of the stuff is kind of more to the minimalistic side. It's really simplistic. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, I'm a fan of just clean design, and once again, I think it pairs really well with our supplements, because we don't put any fillers. I don't want to like take away from the brand itself, as like just filling it with like garbage, really. It's like, I want to get straight to the point and like represent for what we stand for, and that's the transparency from our products and everything that we put in. It's like the highest quality, and I feel like I really like other design like Apple or anything like that, where it's very clean, it feels very premium, and I just want to use this simplicity and the minimalism of that vibe for our products, because they are super premium and they do exactly what we say. And a design like that too, I'm really fond of that.
Definitely. Heck yeah. So is there anything else that you can think of that you want to toss out there?
Besides the fact of like, if you do have passion for something, but you don't like want to put yourself out there, like you want to do something, but you feel like you're holding back. Like you guys mentioned with, just putting that energy out there. And if it's something that you're really passionate about, I say go for it, because why not? you know, what do you got to lose?
Definitely.
I mean, it's the same thing with like taking supplements and stuff like that. If you really want to make a change, it's just not from taking a supplement. You got to be all in. You can't just have one foot, you know, in the door and the other foot out.
Yeah.
Like,
You got to dive.
yeah, you gotta deep dive into it, and you gotta attack it 100%, 110, 150, 200%. I don't care. You just gotta go for it. And it comes down to like, if you take a supplement, it's just like, yeah, you'll get results from it. You'll get what the supplement's meant to do. But if your diet's not on point, if you're not like that active, or like if you don't really pay attention to like what you're actually putting in your body, or if you don't put all the effort into your job that you know really care about, like, you're not going to get the results that you want. If you really want to make a change, or if you really want to do something, you got to be all in on it and just become, you know, you just got to become obsessed with it, I think.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm obsessed with what I do. Like, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I mean, my mind always races about like, how can we make these things better? How can I make this design better? Or, you know, how can I help reach more people, you know, promoting our supplements in the brand itself? Because like, dude, I mean, honestly, it's kind of cliche, but like, you know, people say like, if you do what you love, it's not really a job, you know, but it's true.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of in the same boat. They didn't even have a job available whenever I was hitting them up.
Yeah, you got to make yourself, you know, a valuable asset, and just like be persistent about it. And if you do that, then they're like, man, like this guy really, really wants this, and he'll do anything. Like, I mean, that's another thing. It's like, when I came into the job, like, I didn't have experience, you know, that I didn't have any professional experience in doing podcasts or anything like that. But I didn't say, no, I don't know how to do this. I was like, yeah, and I'll learn it, and you'll figure it out.
Definitely.
So I would say that's the other thing. Like, just put yourself out there and be able to like want to learn new things and new skills, and just like have this stuff in your toolbox or your arsenal where like, oh, you know, you can do this, you can do that, whatever, and you'll create yourself as like a valuable asset. And, you know, just willing to, if you don't know how to do something, you'll figure it out, you'll learn it. And that's what I've done. And now that I have a lot of experience, I might not be like an expert in everything, but I can, you know, work my way around things to figure it out and get it done at a pretty high level, personally, I think, you know. But that's why also you build a team for, you know, around yourself, where you're really good at these things, but you don't have to become a master, because you have other players on your team that can do that heavy lifting, because that's what they're passionate about.
Definitely. Heck yeah.
Cool.
Well, if y'all want to check out some of his designs on the clothes, y'all can go to umzu.com/gifts. And I think that's all we have. Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, but you guys should definitely check out the Fruits and Roots t-shirt that I made. I really like that one. I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet, but I think that'll do really well for you know, the thermo people out there. It's a little banana and a potato. We have two versions of it. One with the classic vintage UMZU logo. And then on the back, it says Fruits and Roots, fuck vegetables. Because who eats vegetables, right? If you're on thermo.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
cool.
There you have it. Make sure, if you're not already, to check out the Facebook group. If you're not on the Thermo Diet yet, then you can check it out at thermodiet.com. You can also get into the Facebook group and ask all kinds of questions. And we will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode.
Peace.